Come back Venice, come west on Venice. Come on, baby. Yeah, baby.
Hang on.
I need to make sure he stays committed because there's another intersection.
Vehicle continue westbound Venice with Crenshaw.
You're good. That's hauling ass. What the fuck, Gabe? Thank you, baby.
Westbound Crenshaw coming up onto West Boulevard.
Where's he going?
Wait, he might come this way though.
No, we're good. Yeah, I'll flip around.
143 Edward and 3 to 4 additional unit.
We're southbound from Venice. Stand by for the
Motherfucker. All you had to do was go straight.
Stand by here. You're making a westbound turn here back towards La Brea.
11-3-7. Making a westbound turn back towards La Brea.
Come north. Hang on.
Correction, guys. Four-way, and I don't see any traffic. So we're coming up on La Brea. Looks like northbound La Brea.
Northbound La Brea.
Back towards Venice.
25 pounds. Copy terminal commercial and M. Deploying northbound La Brea back towards Venice. What's the status of
Yeah, it looks like we're going southbound West Boulevard from St. Elmo back towards Washington.
Right here. Yeah, he's gonna bail, dude. He's waiting for something. He's already at King.
West Boulevard approaching.
We've already got 2 passings, so all we're doing right now is just waiting to see.
Looks like we're turning westbound Coliseum. Northbound Crenshaw coming up on the Stalker.
There he is.
Yeah, they're coming down.
Hang on. You guys all gonna jump out?
Crenshaw from James Soccer.
Here he comes. Hopefully he stays. Hopefully he turns right here. I'm gonna turn off the car in case he tries to steal it.
Northbound Stalker. Northbound Crenshaw coming up Station.
I'm good on passing shots, so let's just. That's like number 3 in the. I think that's number 3.
That's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, so
That was pretty clean.
We're gonna just kind of follow it.
Teammate located an auto fire extending into the garage. Okay. All right, and do you know how long knockdown took at this point, or is that going to be a no-go? I rode down with Zach to the office on our motorcycles, and I saw the setup, and it was something that I had never heard of, and it was very fascinating. And they ended up having a little meeting, and the dispatcher had to go. It was just a little impromptu catch up with everyone. And they left me at the desk. They said, "Hey, do you wanna just sit here and hang out?" And they gave me the radio and showed me how to use the push to talk, and it was just a lot of fun, you know, trying to monitor all the radios. I was terrible at it. 10-9?
Yeah, she didn't know. Claire didn't know anything about radio communications. She didn't know anything about journalism. She didn't know anything about cameras. Like literally the most ground-up person I think we've ever had work for us, or with us, I should say. And it's amazing, like how much information she took in, like how well she does considering where she came from. So I hope when you talk to her, you press her on that and see like what it was like. Because for us, you know, been listening to radios my whole life. Like I had a scanner. My dad got me a scanner when I was like 8 years old, so I wanted to listen to trains. And it wasn't long before I was listening to the Cops. But for her, like to come from the ground up and just to be dropped in at that desk at dispatch, that's some stressful shit.
It was probably one of the most interesting things I've ever just kind of stumbled into. And I talked to Zach about it afterwards. I was like, wow, that was really cool, man. And he said, oh yeah, I'm looking for a dispatcher, you know, someone else to kind of start training. And he said, we'll train you. If you want to come in and learn the radios, we'll train you. And I said, you know what, it'll be fun, I'll try it out. And obviously I'm still here. It's something, I really do love it. There's nothing like it. It's very, very cool.
My name is Gabriel Pabone, and I'm a stringer for On Scene TV. My area of coverage is primarily the Ventura County area, so that includes all incorporated and unincorporated cities. 2 of which cities have been on the America's Safest Cities list put out by the FBI. So there isn't exactly a lot of action going on down here, but when there is action, it's pretty good. Alright, can you start in by telling me your first and last name and how you spell it?
My name is Yahia.
And what happened here? You hit a tree?
Yeah, a tree fell down on the freeway and completely destroyed the car in front of us, and then we hit the debris afterwards, and my car got stuck on a trunk, so we were unable to go any further.
And you were driving the car?
Yes, sir.
And what was going through your mind when it happened?
I was like, holy shit, I hope we don't die.
Alright, thanks, man. Anything more to add?
Shout out to my dad. Where you at? We're out of here on the freeway, cold as hell.
Alright.
What news channel?
Everybody. I'm independent, so I put it out to all the stations.
Oh, sick.
Oh, you're like Jake Gyllenhaal in that one?
Yeah. The movie is based on our job, yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, I think that was the first time I've ever been called Jake Gyllenhaal on the job. Nightcrawler. Because of the movie, I'm now able to ask him, well, have you seen the Nightcrawler movie? And 75% of the time people say, well, yeah. So then I have to say, well, the movie is based on my job, however, not to the, I guess, extreme degree that it's portrayed in the movie. I mean, we're not obviously moving bodies around. We're the complete opposite. We get there and everything should be looking good. There's no need for any felonious activity. You gonna come talk? How's it going?
What's happening? I was just wondering why your car looks all blacked out with the light and all that.
I'm a press photographer.
Press photographer? It's kind of like that. What was that movie where the guy goes around at night?
That was funny. We were just talking about that Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, is that what you are?
Yes, but we're not breaking laws when we get on scene.
When the movie came out, there was a tidal wave of people that thought that they could come out in the LA market and do this job. And they thought that they could film with their phone, call the TV station, and tell the TV station that you're gonna pay me X number of dollars, or I'm gonna fuck you and I'm gonna put this on YouTube. And that's a direct quote. That was, somebody had said that directly to one of the TV stations. If you don't buy this from me at my rate, I'm gonna fuck you and put it on YouTube.
We've heard complaints from the station saying, yeah, that, you know, unless you're really willing to give it for free or something, we're not going to use this video because it's just too cheap. It's too It lacks quality, and it's just something that it's really annoying. It's very annoying seeing these guys out there that don't know what they're doing, trying to accomplish what we do, and trying to essentially screw us over. That's what I feel like. You know, it's cool for one thing if you want to just go out and watch, but don't be that guy where you're just gonna go out there, film, try and be us, and not know what you're doing. Because again, you're wasting everyone's time.
So, since the couple TV shows have come out and the movie back a few years back, Nightcrawler, you know, there is competition more now than there was before. Like myself in Orange County alone, I really didn't have any competition, and now I kind of have two competitors now.
You know, it has brought out people that probably normally wouldn't do this. This job's not for everyone, and they usually go away, but there's been some people that have stuck from it. So, you know, a negative thing about it is really showing people how to do our job, or how we do our job, and that in turn has made it a lot easier for people to come out.
And I heard, you know, after Nightcrawler that there was an influx of the same thing, where people would see this and they thought it was like reality, you know, and so, oh, it's easy, I'll just go buy a camera and a tripod and stand out there and record the story. How hard can that be?
It was a good movie. If I wasn't a stringer, I wouldn't have anything to be mad about, except for the fact that he made us look like sleazeballs. And the last thing I want to do out here is touch a dead body. But hey, if he loved his job that much that he wanted to drag someone around and make a scene look interesting, then so be it. But there has been plenty of scenes where I've seen dead people and I'm like, well, this isn't anything, and just walked away from it.
We're always going to see new people try and come into this job as a result of the exposure that we get professionally. You know, the fact of the matter is that the Jake Gyllenhaal's character in the movie committed a federal offense and a minimum of 3 Class 1 felonies before he even picked up a camera. And when I've had to have conversations with law enforcement professionals as well as firefighters, I've had to make it abundantly clear to them that if somebody were to commit a federal offense and multiple Class 1 felonies, they would not have a job with us. That kind of behavior is grounds for termination. But more importantly than is it grounds for termination, you know, that kind of behavior it just shows the moral character and the ethical character of somebody that would try and do this job, and we don't want that kind of a person doing this job.
There's guys that are out here that do shoot the video and they're sloppy. They don't use their tripod. They don't shoot good quality video. They're shooting on little consumer cameras that don't compare to ours. We shoot on high def. So that's kind of the positive on my end. But you know, it's being that we're competitive out here and we have the competition, now we kind of have to put other videos, like if I shoot one story, I have to put another story together to kind of beat the competition. I don't like doing that because I don't like giving away video, and it's kind of like giving away free video. But we are in the market to beat the competition, and whatever it takes, I'm going to do it.
Those movies kind of did help a little bit in terms of recognizing who we were and what we do, but at the same time there's now a bunch of people who want to do the same thing as us. They want to go out and film fires, they want to go buy a bunch of radios. They don't even know what they're doing. They just want to film like 5 minutes straight of this house burning on fire. That's not how we do it. We cut our video down into segments, and that's how we feed our story.
I've seen all these new people show up with their like little DSLRs and their little tripods, and sometimes even like their phones, and like they'll have like this press vest on and some like bullshit media credentials that don't mean anything. And I know how that feels to like see something and get so stoked about it and want to do it because it seems like this amazing thing. So I get that feeling and the idea of what it is. Again, like, so I haven't seen any of those kids. You know, I saw them for the first like couple weeks, and then there's so much that's involved that I don't think they understand, and so people fizzle out pretty quickly.
Initially, there was a large influx of people who thought they could do this. And but now those people are all gone. I haven't seen anybody who I saw that summer when it came out. Not a single one of those guys have made it through. And I think it's because a lot of them had very unrealistic expectations as to how much the stations pay for stories. You know, they would catch car accidents and on their phone and be vertical, and they try to sell it for like $5,000, and the station would just hang up. It's ridiculous.
At the same time, it's kind of been a help because a lot of police agencies and outside, agencies and companies, they now appreciate more what we do and realize, how we do things and why we do things. And we've had some people come up and say, hey, you know what, I didn't really enjoy, stringers on our scenes before, but now that we see what you guys do and that you're professional about it, they've definitely encouraged us and enjoy that we're on scene now. So, it's had its pluses and minuses. I'm not really worried about competition coming out here. We have this down to a science now, and I don't really fear competition.
Regardless, it's still competition, and they don't know the rules, and so then that pisses off law enforcement because they don't know the rules and they're not being safe and all this stuff, and they want to be a media stringer, whatever they see on TV, and it's like, dude, there's so much more. It's almost like I want to be a doctor, and so I go put on some scrubs and like fucking make a badge and go, glove up, and it's just you have to put in the time, which is funny I'm saying that because it's like I hate always putting in the time, but you do. I mean, you have to learn the basics, and you have to like understand what each part of this job, how it contributes to doing it successfully and responsibly and safely.
So obviously the TV show is out, the movie's been out for years, and the people have impressions of how independent news companies work, and they have impressions of on-scene TV based entirely upon what they see in a TV show. And I was talking to several people in our company recently, and we were talking about how we as a company operate and what our identity is and what our message is. And people would make fun of Zach on the TV show for giving out his business card all the time. But the truth of the matter is that Zach is the only expert witness. Out of all the stringers in this industry in Southern California, Zach is the only one recognized as an expert witness by the DA's office. And he's recognized as an expert witness because he does this job the way we all do this job. And we carry ourselves with a level of professionalism that's higher than the average person.
And you're wasting my time. I'm out there trying to put all this effort into it, and you're playing around. You're joking around out there, and that's not looking good for us. That doesn't look good when the stations see it, and that also reflects on us badly because the reason they're doing it is because of us.
With the TV show, we've had a lot of positive reviews. We've had a lot of people within the organizations and the agencies that we work with that have a completely different perspective about how we do our job. They have a better understanding of some of the stuff they had no ideas of. I've had interesting conversations with firefighters in the last few days about how it's changed their perspective on how we do what we do, and how difficult our job can be. But the TV show has also brought out people, and we get hundreds of emails a day of people that wanting to join our company, wanting to do what we do, wanting to start up what we do in other markets. And a lot of people with no experience. And it's kind of hard. If you have no photographic experience, you have no experience listening to radios, you have no experience with any facet of journalism, just saying, oh, well, I'm going to go buy myself a car and a bunch of radios and a camera and I'm going to do this job. That I don't, you know, you get a lot of those people right now, but I don't see how they're gonna have any success doing that.
My whole thing is when you're out and you're representing like our company, professionalism is everything. And if you can't keep that and be professional, you shouldn't be in this business at all. Period.
I think that it all started with Stringers LA. I think that that's when this job went from being a closely kept secret to being out in the open. And that created more competition. And then the interest in that TV series sparked the Netflix series, and it sparked...
Take that back. It went to Nightcrawler.
Right, the movie, and
Yeah.
then the Netflix series.
Yep. Stringers LA wasn't really that popular.
No, but I think
It did
that
okay.
sparked things with
People knew. People were aware.
Right,
but-
I mean, it was a cable, TV series.
Yeah. But then, like, Nightcrawler came out, a lot of people got curious and started coming out. Wanted to be like Jake Gyllenhaal.
It is a product of that movie, it's my understanding.
Oh, wow. I wasn't even aware of that. It's crazy. But then, yeah. What didn't help, like, write the movie?
He was responsible for, in the movie.
Nightcrawler?
Yeah, he walked by in one shot, and he was their consult. I believe Jake Gyllenhaal rode along with.
Oh wow!
And then, he's the producers for Shot in the Dark.
Yep. So, fault.
No, but I think that they saw this job and they monetized it, and I would blame them partially for the fall of this job.
So the show basically it taught people who had no idea what stringers even were. It's like, hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Now, you know, you go out and try and do it. And I've had people contact me on social media, ask me, hey, what scanners and radios are you using? What camera do you use? I'm like, why am I going to tell you how to do my job? I don't want to. Why am I going to train you to be my competitor? And you know, I've heard you're like, oh, I didn't know what my passion was until I saw this show. Well, if you didn't know that stringers even existed before the TV show, then I'm sorry, but this isn't the career for you. If you watch a TV show and be like, I want to be a stringer, you're going to fail. We're going to beat you. There's no way around it. There were a few people that were a product of the movie, but they don't exist anymore. Unless they're in our shoes, in our boots, people will never understand why we do the things that we do.
I think a normal life would be the 9-to-5 job, or even you know, like the overtime job or something creative even, but you're working like normal hours, you have a set schedule, you're dealing with things that are more normal, you know, you're not dealing with people dying all the time, you're not dealing with fires, you know, it's not always life and death. You're probably dealing with things that are just, you know, you could probably go to work and you think, wow, I hate my job, or you know, like, oh, I have to deal with this bullshit today. Like, to me, that would be a normal job. And I think it's funny because like most people, they always say like, oh, you know, I have a normal job, I hate it, this and that, and it's like, well, it's kind of almost like the ignorance is bliss kind of thing, where maybe it's not as bad as they think it is, you know, because you start doing stuff like this and we're ruined, all of us. I can't go and work a normal job after doing this crap. The only options for me are military, law enforcement, fire department, you know, underwater explosives, demolition. I mean, no, seriously, like that's the only thing that would allow me to feel the way that I feel doing this. You know, it's about that. It's about not necessarily being on the edge. It's about maintaining control when everything around you is going to shit. And we pretty much specialize in that. And being in a position to deal with that on a daily basis and experience that on a daily basis is kind of what drives a lot of the guys. I know it's part of what drives me, that and the adventure. And you know, to say to say that we could go back and do a normal job, it's almost impossible. I can't imagine any of my guys going and being like, oh, hey man, I quit, I'm gonna go work at Starbucks. Like, that wouldn't happen. They'd be flipping out. Someone would come in and order a latte and they wouldn't know what to do. They just wouldn't be able to handle the normality of it.
Engine 41, you're clear to remaining quarters. Truck 41, cover station 45. Medic engine 47, cover station 40.
So basically, someone driving on this street, the street ends in a cul-de-sac, drives approximately 50 feet through some bushes at a park here, drives through this fence, let me rotate it here, down this fence, through this wall, and into a bedroom in this house. How that happened, I don't know. The guy in the pickup truck is okay, or might have some pain, killed someone in the bedroom. This is one of those things about being a stringer. It's about having random incidents. This is going to be one of them. This is one of those random Ventura County incidents where I don't even think weather was a factor in this story. I think this is just a freak thing that just happened out of nowhere. I mean, it's a very quiet residential street. Guy maybe turns the corner too fast, doesn't realize that the road ends, crashes into a house and kills someone. People crash into houses here every once in a while, but in the manner in which this one happened is a little too unique and strange. So, she was more than happy to. Kind of blew over stuff. I've been doing this for almost 7 years now. I can't do a 9-to-5 cubicle job. I mean, it's not that I can't sit still, but I mean, I have to be out. I always like to be where the action is, and a cubicle, a 9-to-5, or any other kind of job where it requires sitting for an extended period of time indoors under fluorescent lighting isn't exactly what I'm looking for anymore. At some point I'd have to change professions. Obviously the next logical step for me would be something in law enforcement. Whether it's police officer at some point someday. Mentally I still need to figure out how I'm going to be dealing with people on a daily basis. Because I'm usually filming the people that I deal with. I'm not actually directly interacting with them.
So I mean, I love this job. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I've been doing it for a while, and it is like an adrenaline rush because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, you could come out at night, it could be a boring night, you don't go to anything, or it could be a super busy night and you get, you know, the story of the year or whatever, you know. So it's definitely kind of an adrenaline game. I always love it. I'm excited. It does get a little tiring though, listening to radios for hours upon hours. You know, when I first started, I was real gung-ho. I always had my radios on all the time. Even when I wasn't working, I had them on. But now, you know, I kind of cut that back to when I'm going to be out on the radios, then I'll listen to the radios. But I still have that fire and drive. Every night I'm out here, I love it. You know, I look forward to what's going to happen, which I know is horrible because we film tragedy, but I mean, that's what we do. We're here to tell a story. We're here to provide footage for the news channels, and I love every minute that I'm out here.
A 9-to-5 job, you're stuck in a cubicle, you have a boss, you put in and punch your card in, and you get a 1 hour break. My job is a lot different. I'm on the go all the time. I have no kids. I love and thrive breaking news. A lot of people ask, is there downtime? There's a lot of downtime, but you need to be ready when that call goes out and take off and you go.
First off, it takes a lot of money. It takes experience. In one of the fields that you need to be familiar with. You need to be well versed in one of the fields that are required to be good at stringing. So you're either going to be a camera nerd, you're going to be a radio dork, or someone who wants to be a cop, someone who wants to be a firefighter. It takes that natural drive to push and to be able to get to a scene quickly enough. Because I've had people who aren't really driven in a lot of what they do sit in that seat and just wonder how we can stop mid-conversation and just go, or stop mid-conversation and just hone in on what's happening in the thing. So you need to be able to have all that in you.
It's 24/7, 7 days a week, pretty much. I try to take a couple of days off because, I got to have family time. But there's times on a Sunday when I'm planning to go somewhere with my wife, I might have to go to that homicide or that fire or that plane crash or something. And the best part of it is my wife is really understanding. She knows how much this job I love. And if I don't go, that means that I don't make that cheddar. And I want to make that cheddar all the time. So she's awesome about it. And I've been married 15 years now, and she knows that when I need to leave, something's going down.
Unit 5959. We have someone inside. We do have a involved CR 41 is going to go ahead and pass command and going to rescue mode at this time.
215, you copy. Working fire.
Yeah, Roger, copy. 121.
What do you usually expect at a fire?
Well, on a mobile home fires, or if it is on fire, they'll cook and cook because there's so much insulation around them, and they're hard to put out. They're like a baked potato with tin foil around them. Let's go across the street. Okay? Yep. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Oh, they have a body. They found a body. Apparently. Okay, let's go.
Sheriff just made a copy. Engine 41 for master contact. Back down this way, please. Or if you can't, bring your gun up here on the double.
I need the medics. Just pulled one body out of the fire right now.
Over there. Go that way for me, please. I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I love, that's why I've been doing it for so long. It never gets old. It just doesn't. It's awesome. I couldn't imagine putting a tie on every day and being bored in a cubicle. I don't think I could do it. I think I'd go crazy. Too boring for me. Way too boring for me.
No money. No money. The very first 6 months to a year of stringing, unless you're extremely lucky, you're not gonna make any money doing this. This is basically just you're learning how to shoot things, how not to shoot things, how to shoot things like how the stations love them. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. But it's addicting. You know.
Check your log, see if there's any updates. 5-3. Sounds great. Send us info.
This is the worst part of working in this area, is that
Squad 45, disregard that. Squad 98 cancel.
Is that
Squad
Long
98.
Beach sometimes overreacts. Basically, they'll act like it's a fatal call, but it's sometimes very not fatal. Or they'll straight up break 409.5D, which happens very frequently.
Someone trying to cancel.
This is like the worst fucking tripod for this.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Why you're doing that? You just keep doing that? Doesn't matter what you want, ma'am. There's laws around here.
Okay, thank you.
You can turn that off now. You're impeding my work. Penal Code 409.5 subsection D.
I
to keep an eye on you guys, so I know what you're doing.
That's all right, but you can't shine that light at my camera. You can shine at my feet, though. Can I get your name, ma'am, while you're doing that?
Myers, M-Y-E-R-S.
All right, Myers. Who's your watch commander? You can answer who your watch commander is. Where are you guys out of, sir?
Long Beach.
Long Beach, which division?
The division you're standing in, sir.
Okay. What's your name, sir? The one who was answering me a second ago.
Oh, well, I just wanted to speak to their watch command. I'm having some issue with the officers there. Hi, I think I just called in a second ago over here. And I was trying to get a hold of a watch commander, but I was patched through to you again. Basically, I was being harassed by law enforcement officers at a scene where a person was hit by a car. I'm a member of the press. I was trying to record the scene, and they were preventing me from doing so. So my issue with this is that this has happened multiple times, not with the same officer, but it's an issue that keeps happening, and it basically at this point needs to be escalated. So.
Hello, this is John.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Hi, John. This is Sergeant Ryan with Long Beach Police Department.
Hey, so I was filming a auto versus pedestrian over at Cerritos and Broadway, and one of the officers started shining a light at my camera because she didn't want me there, and I basically couldn't do my job. Seems to be a problem that I'm having with some of the officers, particularly in the South area. Just wondering if I could.
John, I'm here, and I saw that, and I went over and talked to the officer. And I don't know if you noticed. Are you one of the cameramen that was on the? Are you still here, or are you leaving?
I'm still here. Yes.
Okay. Do you want to talk face to face, or you want to just do this over the phone?
I could come over.
Okay. I'm in the SUV over here. The Tahoe.
Okay. I'll walk over to you.
Okay. I'll meet you on the sidewalk.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Right back. How you doing, sir? So, I don't understand what the issue was.
Okay.
I was trying to be as professional as possible. I didn't have a shot of the guy who drove the car.
Okay.
None of that stuff. And so she just started doing that. That seems to be a big problem around here.
Okay. No, and I saw that, and when I saw that, and I noticed you're behind the tape, which is where you're supposed to be, right? And I went over and talked to her, and I just let her know that as long as you're behind the tape, you can film. Her perspective was, because in this situation it's an accident, there's no signs of impairment or anything like that. We're just holding the scene, waiting for information from the hospital. Her feeling, and this is me talking to her, was that she feels like getting this guy's image on the news of being involved in the accident can be detrimental to him and, who he is and what he does and stuff like that. So she felt like she was trying to protect him. And I talked to her, I said, hey, look, if that's the case, then, we just need to find another place for him to be outside of the camera. I get you're trying to do your job. That's where it's at. So again, I talked to her once I recognized it before you had made the call in. And I don't know, that's obviously when the light stopped.
I get what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah.
And
no, and I get what you guys are trying to do.
I totally respect it. And my thing is, if there's some sort of issue like that,
yeah,
they could always come over and talk to us.
I get that.
So that immediate thing, and it's
and I get it. It doesn't look good. There's no point in doing it as long as you're behind the tape. If it's a crime scene and we need to push the crime scene further back, and it's something that as a supervisor, you know, we need to address when, you know, where you guys are allowed to be, and yeah. So obviously, something like this happens now, it becomes a training issue. So I'll make sure not only this officer, but the other officers understand. So that way we can have a professional relationship between you guys and us.
That's all I ask.
Yeah, and I totally understand, and you know, there's a lesson to be learned from this. Obviously, you guys are doing your thing, and you know you're staying behind your tape, which is where you're supposed to be. So there's no issue. So,
thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a good night, sir. What's your name again?
Robert. Sergeant Ryan.
Okay. You have a good night, sir. Be safe.
Okay. Have a good night.
He handled that pretty well.
You got it?
Yeah.
So what happened?
He just apologized for her. It was a training issue. Blah, 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 the usual. I get it. Maybe it's me that's changed. Maybe my demeanor's changed. It's a constantly evolving situation with law enforcement. And I think the show has done some pretty positive things as far as showing people what we do. As soon as they hear that I work for On Scene, things lately have been becoming pretty positive. So I don't know. Maybe the show put out that we're good guys, but it could just be the work that I do with law enforcement. It could be a bunch of other things. I could just be getting someone on a good night. They might have just gotten a raise or it was payday or something. So I think it's pretty wild. Very, very wild to see how things have changed.
As far as the relationship aspect, yeah, it makes it hard as hell. It makes it really hard. You can't. It's funny because you go out and you date chicks, and or in this now more than ever women. You start dating women, you go out, and in the beginning they're like, wow, that's so cool what you do, that's really exciting, you know, like it sounds like a lot of fun, and in a lot of ways it is. Like every day is different. I'm all over the city, I'm all over the state, all over the country if I need to be. Like, yeah, it's fun. I have a great time. I love what I do, but it's not conducive for stability in the long term. And I think that's what a lot of women are looking for. They're looking for a guy who is going to be home at 6 p.m. when they have dinner ready, and they have a set schedule and everything's fine. You know, I mean, that's just not in the cards for guys like us. You come home at random hours. You go out at random hours. You're on call all the time. Something major happens, I'm going to go. And nothing's going to stop that. And ladies don't always understand that. So you get kind of lonely sometimes. But that's self-induced. Obviously, you can go out and have fun and do whatever, but it's hard to relate. It's hard to relate to people and talk to people. I mean, I can't meet somebody at a bar and say, oh yeah, you know, I've watched people burn to death. Like, that's not a pickup line. You know, that's like, oh, this guy's nuts. But it's just, it's hard to deal with the scheduling is pretty much the most difficult thing. The long hours, the late nights, seeing all this stuff on a daily basis. We have our ways of decompressing. And for me, it's the rock climbing, the motorcycles, the trains. Those are things that I do that take me out of this world and allow me to decompress. So on top of the work, you need the decompression time. Otherwise, you can't go out and have a normal existence. And most women don't get that. They don't understand that. So at least in my experience, no offense, ladies.
So being in a relationship and things, you know, it makes it a little bit difficult because, you know, you eat dinner and you're like, all right, I got to go, you know, I'll see you later. Then you come home at 4 a.m. You got to be, you know, quiet and sneak back into your own place. You know, and there's times where you're out doing something and something major breaks and, you know, you want to go, and a lot of times you do leave what you're doing and go to shoot the footage of the news scene. But, you know, you got to weigh your option depending on what you're doing. You know, if it's something family related or something really important, you probably don't want to leave. But I say relationships, I mean, obviously they definitely can work in this field, but, you know, I think there's a struggle too because you're on such opposite schedules and you're out and about running around in the middle of the night. So, you know, I was in a relationship. I started this and then I was in a relationship and it was great. And, you know, I don't think my job of doing this affected that in any way. But, you know, it takes a special person to be with to understand that, you know, you're out in the middle of the night or you got to leave on last minute notice kind of situation. And sometimes you miss out on stuff.
It definitely takes someone, a specific kind of person to understand what you do. Obviously, if the person supports you, that's great. But not all people understand that what we do, especially the people that do this job, I mean, we kind of put this above all else. Obviously, if you have someone that you care for them. But sometimes, not in my case, but in other people's cases, they've been given an ultimatum. Either it's me or the job, and they always choose the job. However, I guess I can say I've been lucky enough and unlucky enough to not be in the position of having a relationship while I've been doing this job to where I have to make those kinds of decisions.
What's 10%? Copy, you're still 81 on steering route. 84 responsibly by drugs and wearing a towel on his head. Can you just look back inside? I'm going to stand by for my back.
Figure out a way of getting here without impeding. This is really not usual for a crash to be in the center divider like this, and for us to be able to access like this. Says I can't be filming in their closure, but I mean, how else am I supposed to be safe at a crime or a crash scene, you know? That's kind of ridiculous. So, either way, I mean, if this incident was frustrating enough, I'm not going to waste my time and risk a ticket out of it. But, I mean, he's pretty in the wrong, to say the least. So the I Love You sticker is my girlfriend's, and she made a bunch of these stickers when she was over in school, and she goes to university like 1,000 miles away from me, so it's always hard getting to see her and her being readily available. So I figured I'd put it in my car, and so when I'm out at work, I get to look at it every night, and it reminds me of her. And it's great. It used to be up here, and then it kept falling down because this is sticker and this is fabric, so it's kind of dumb on that, but I stuck it on my console, and I mean, people are gonna see it, but I really don't care because it's worth it to me, so.
Affirmative, good.
If you have kids and you're stuck at home and you can't break away, you know, that would suck. You know, I'd be missing that huge fire, that crash or something, and you're stuck with a little baby at home. I don't know if I could do that, but then I could put it in a backpack, the baby. But no, man, I don't know. That's why it's one of the main reasons I love my job too much. I love it way too much. I don't think but
You know what it is?
some people might think I'm crazy. Oh well.
Most of the stuff we go to, people are running away. And we're just like going right in the middle of it. I mean, I've been to like 2 or 3 active shooters, and you're just kind of literally running at people shooting at the cops, and the cops are shooting back, and you're just like, all you're thinking about is, hey, I gotta get my shot. I gotta get a good shot. You know, I mean, that you definitely have to be a little out there to not, it's not so much not care, because like, yeah, I want to go home at the end of the night. Like, I know I'm going to go home. Like, that's my job. That's number one job, is to go home. But yeah, you have to be a little out there to get involved in this world and to do well at it and to remain professional and not let it get to you. I mean, there's so many different forces kind of pulling you one direction to the other, and you need to just kind of focus on the job at hand and just remain as professional as possible.
I sat here, same seat that you're sitting in. A photographer sat down with me. Very, very new and experienced photographer. And within seconds, he was like, I don't think I can do this job. And I was like, why is that? And he goes, this looks like it's very expensive to get started in and very, very risky. And I was like, well, that's what it is. And that's why a lot of these guys are addicted to it. They're in for the gamble. They're in to pit their skills against other photographers as to who gets the story first and who gets that story in quickest. And that was the last I heard from him.
So the profession of stringing is obviously not for everyone. There's quite a few factors involved. I mean, you see your fair share of death. You see your fair share of very sensitive things, and it's not for everyone. Obviously, if you're going to be sensitive and you like to cry about a lot of things, this job is not for you. If you get scared easily of dangerous situations, that can be even dangerous on yourself. It's putting your life at risk, because say you get scared of a shooting call and your thought process goes out the door. You literally cannot think about what to do, and next thing you know, you're not only not knowing what to do, but you're putting yourself vulnerable for anything for you to happen in this situation where you're scared. So obviously, you need to be a bold person who's willing to go out, and obviously you need to have some situational awareness when you're out, because obviously this world, based on all the stories you see, it's not safe. There's definitely a danger to it.
I have been at scenes where they've shot people, where people have been burned alive, where people have been just maimed. I've been at scenes where people have been in pain. This job is so cutthroat that if you couldn't make it in this world, it'll spit you out so violently that you wish you'd never started.
I don't do this for the adrenaline rush. You know, some people are, some of the guys are adrenaline junkies, but I just do it because I like it. I don't go out there and, it's not so I can go 100 miles an hour to a call. That's not what I want to do. I just want to go out and shoot the story. I like being where the action is, and there's no other job in the world that, cops say they have the best, they have front row tickets to the best show on earth, but they actually have to participate in the show. They're the actors. I get to watch the show happen. I have the best seats in the house. Is that for the trailer?